So, have I done a good job showing off that I am the smartest man on planet Earth? People say I should be proud of my high intellect, and to them I say pride is a sin. See you in hell, loser. I know that because I'm the smartest man in the world. Everybody already knows it. I asked the guy in the mirror who the smartest was. He wrote his answer backwards, but he's got the right idea. My brain power knows no bounds. Think of a number, any number. You got it? And that's how easy it is to manipulate the small-minded. All I had to do to make you think of a number was to ask. You didn't question my intentions for a second. Mathematics? Oh, please, I'm a die-hard equations fan. That one, that's cheating, that's better, that's a gang sign. Science? I got hydrogen and oxygen coming out of my tap, and scientists are still in therapy over it. History? I got a basic grasp, Big Bang, Pilgrims, Ice Age, yesterday, today, but I don't really like dwelling on the past. You may be asking, Jack, how'd you get that smart? Well, aside from 3 square meals a day of fish oil pills and diplomas, I actually have video games to thank. Yep, your parents may have told you that video games were bad for a developing mind, but then they weren't totally honest about where babies came from either. That stork does too much good work for all the credit to go to sex. Video games molded me into the Mensa menace you know today. Now, normally a genius never kisses and tells, but I'll make an exception for you today. Time to teach you how to become a genius. The Nintendo DS, our first glimpse as to what Mario would do with a second screen. The second best-selling console of all time opened the door to gaming to so many people. Some people don't want to rent out a space in their living room just to play Call of Duty, so the DS was the perfect replacement. I never said it was perfect. The portability, super diverse library, and especially the touchscreen would make it something that almost anyone could enjoy. In a world where touchscreen devices were still less than common, the DS boasting a screen you were supposed to smudge was a great selling feature. While plenty of games were made for gamers on the console, the touch generation line would give someone who got vertigo at the thought of Pokemon Pearl something to do with their DS. This was a label for games that didn't really fit the standard idea of what a game was. Sure, it had Tetris, but stare at the sun long enough, you'll get in a couple rounds. That's a game that anybody can get a grasp on, no problem, but the rest of the catalog? Book collections, fitness apps, cooking aids, these were pieces of software meant to make the DS less of a gaming console and more of a personal assistant that you could whip out no matter the demographic. It really was a precursor to how smartphones worked in that regard. Just swap out changing cartridges for clicking an app. I've yet to see a smartphone with Reshiram and Zekrom on it though, so we know who won. Also, there were a few touch generation games for the Wii, but loses the spirit a little bit. One genre that ruled the roost of the touch generation line was educational games, with the crown jewel being Brain Age. Naturally, the North American box art doesn't mention it's a touch generation game because why let me be right? This right here is a genius's greatest tool. When you're out on the go and want to get in a few reps, nowhere better to turn than your Nintendo DS. Brain Age starts out with your friend and mine, Dr. Kawashima. This guy's an actual neuroscientist. His Brain Age training books are what the game is based on, and he's been studying the field for well over 40 years. He's even got deeper ties to video games than you might think. In the early 2000s, he did a study saying that video games didn't stimulate the frontal lobe and can stunt brain development if played in excess. Not his video game though, this one's only dangerous if you stop playing. He starts us off with a diagram showing what areas of the brain are used the most and how much blood flow goes there when sitting idle versus when engaging in stimulating activity. After that, we start out with a test to get our brain age. Are you in a quiet place where you can speak freely? Doc, I'm busy talking right now. Does it look like I have time to speak? Our first test is the old Brain Age Special, rapid-fire math problems of addition and multiplication. We start off and already I got a problem with the good doctor and his methods. This guy just doesn't understand what 4s look like. When I draw one, he thinks it's anywhere from a 9 to a 0. Drawing a fucked up goalpost gets his attention, but now Kawashima thinks I'm a drooling moron because he can't read his own handwriting. He is a real doctor! Afterwards, he decides to ask us our name. I decide to remind him who he's dealing with. I ran out of space. After stealing the rest of my personal information and showing he's not much better at reading nines, Kawashima gives us our brain age. Do you think this at least qualifies me for senior benefits? Okay, so we're not starting from the best spot, but a genius like me will be able to bounce back. Geniuses are known for our elasticity. I gotta train before the next exam to show Kawashima he's not dealing with the average Joe, which you can do by going to the training section. Here you can tackle all of the unlocked games you have so far, like the speed calculations, either 20 or 100 of them. At one point, Kawashima starts phoning it in since 7 is the answer to like 3 of these questions in a row. If there isn't a 7 on the test, I'm dead. See, I've got the brain speed of a bicycle. I'm shooting for unicycle next. I head out to tackle the 100 calculations next, and that problem reading numbers is seriously getting on my nerves. It wouldn't sting so much if it wasn't how 4 was drawn in-game. 7. What comes after 6? 7! The final thing we can do before going in for the test is high to low, where we gotta memorize the numbers, then click the boxes in order from lowest to highest. If anything could shake a genius's confidence, it would be getting stuck memorizing the same pattern over and over. Even though I thought I did the worst of this game so far, Kawashima was beyond impressed. You're looking at a car-level intellect here. Alright, I think I've trained enough for the test. Time to prove to Kawashima I'm the genius we all know I am. First up is word memory, a game I didn't train for. I don't see a 7 on this whole thing! Memorize 30 words in 2 minutes, then write as many as you can down in 3 minutes. Let's make a deal. 30 minutes to memorize 2 words. Oh, if you thought Kawashima had difficulty reading numbers, wait until you see how he handles letters. There are the funny ones, like him mistaking lowercase e's for uppercase ones, height of comedy, but he starts to lose it when I write out home. Takes 3 tries before he finally starts to understand, and it gets so much worse when we get to the disaster that is flow. He mistook this for a K. Still, I only missed 8 out of 30. That's not bad. Maybe if you're in the 1st grade. Next is the connect maze, where you have to link numbers to their appropriate letters. A to 1, B to 2, you understand. At first I thought you weren't allowed to overlap the line, which I was freaking out about, but you can make as much of a mess as you want, just don't touch the same number or letter twice. Finally is a number cruncher. Just answer the question above about the numbers below and you'll succeed. As you go on, Kawashima starts getting bored and begins playing with the numbers by spinning them, shaking them, and making them pulsate. Whoa, we never trained for what happens if the 7 starts spinning. Alright, now that we've gotten past all the tests, it's time to clock in our new brain age. Okay, so this is a doctor who sees a 23-year-old, initially clocks him at 61 before walking it back to 36. How am I supposed to trust a guy who sees a 6-year-old and asks him if he has car insurance? No, you know what? This game is broken. Every time I've listened to a man made of polygons, it's ended in disaster. I want him disbarred, I want him to turn in his badge, gun, and brain, and I want him to be nicer to me. Okay, this was a mistake. How about we go to a real... Who has the biggest brain? No. The question you should ask instead is, where's Jack right now? Fighting out of the same flesh pits that spawned Brain Age, Big Brain Academy was the second crown jewel of the Touch Generation Educational Division, serving a very similar niche and helping a lot of people stay sharp and educated. But we're not looking to get sharper, we're already on the razor's edge. I'm not looking to improve, I just want affirmation. We start the game by enrolling in Big Brain Academy and meet our new teacher, Dr. Loeb. He may not be a real guy like Dr. Kawashima, but if he tells me how special I am, I don't care how much concrete matter he takes up. He's quick to start oversharing about how he wears t-shirts and shorts in the middle of winter. Is that gonna be on the test? Invigorate your brain for life. That's our motto. Not a good sign when your academy starts making up words. So, before we get into any practice, which I don't need, I know everything, we have to take a test to measure how big our brain is. For some reason, they choose not to measure your intellect with something dumb like a score. We're gonna have to be the pound for pound smartest man one way or the other. other. Dr. Loeb says that at Big Brain Academy, brain weight is the only metric that matters, and that he's coming in at a hefty 1,972 gram brain, as opposed to the standard 1,400. Loeb, your brain is swelling. We need to get you to a doctor. Do something, you quadratic fuck! To test how heavy our brain is, since the DS makes for a garbage scale, we're gonna be tested in 5 different categories: compute, analyze, memorize, think, and identify. First up is computing, solving basic math again. I know this one! I know this one! Things are going smoothly at first, but eventually Loeb forgets to write out my cheat sheet properly, and I have to remind him. He starts trying to get you on division, and that's it for me, I'm done. Memorization comes next. Look at the pattern on the left, tap the missing piece on the right. Takes me a second to realize I can tap the screen to speed this up a bit, but once I do, I blaze through it. It doesn't matter. Burgers, bugs, trains, women, I recognize all those things. Think is next, and for this test you have to draw a line on the bottom screen so the animal on the top screen meets the one on the bottom. My mom said I was wasting my time playing the Sigma Stage 1 boss from Mega Man X over and over again. Well, who's laughing now? Next up is a matching game. Just click the pair of various things, from shapes to numbers to flowers. Doc, it'd be a lot easier if you didn't throw in all these things that look similar. What, are you trying to trip me up or something? Last up is analyze. Draw the line to complete the photo like you see on the left. These shapes can be awfully tricky though, especially when they start to rotate them just to try to mess with you. Right on the cusp of crossing draw a pineapple off my bucket list, Loeb cuts us off and pulls out the scale. Time to weigh our brain and see how we measure up. 963 grams. Not bad by any measure. Seems like I was able to impress the doctor with my memorization, but I can't think for myself. The final grade is a... Have you ever been so insulted by something that isn't even an insult? Like, nobody's gonna say, "Hey, nice shot, you museum curator," when they miss a free throw, but God am I angry about it! Is that all I am to you, Doctor? A C-grade museum curator? Well, this academy's bogus. And by the way, that intro was a lie! Not a single penny for tuition? Wrong! More like $1 off of eBay! Why are we even wasting time with stupid Nintendo games anyway? They want to keep their audience plump and stupid so they don't think about the fact that they published 3DS games after the Switch was released. There's one place I know I can prove my smarts, and it's the one place where no one will doubt me. The zoo! So the game starts with Putt-Putt and his dog Pepper on their way to the opening of the Car Town Zoo, and we stop by Mr. Baldini's to pick up animal food to give to the zookeeper to feed the animals. Once we get inside, the zookeeper tells us we're not going to be able to open the zoo unless we can find all the missing baby animals. So we're off onto the baby animal finding, and you wouldn't believe how easy it was. I find the baby elephant, baby seal, grab the baby lion, just obliterate the baby hippo challenge, pick up the snake and giraffe. Man, who knew being a car was so easy? Me! In under 30 minutes, I managed to beat one of the toughest games of all time, Putt-Putt Saves the Zoo. I bet nobody's ever beaten it that quickly. Let me just give a quick look-see at the age range for this sort of game. When did I ever say I was book smart? What I meant was that I had street smarts. Here, let me show you. I'll boot up Sleeping Dogs and show you what I can do in a situation that might actually happen. Welcome to Jack's Guide to Street Smarts. I'm gonna teach you all I know about growing up on the hard streets of Hong Kong. You came to the right Bostonian. So, before you go out in the morning, the most important thing is to dress for the job you want, not the job you have. So I dressed up as the main character of Shenmue. I just have some ideas I think would really help out. Alright, and the most important thing to have on the streets isn't roads, like you might think, it's respect. Pants are not as high up as you'd think, so you're gonna want to grab your sword of ultimate power that you bought from a guy, this will really help out your standings in Hong Kong probably. Now, before you go pushing pixie sticks and illiteracy, you're gonna want to use the bathroom because there might not be one at the drug den. Make sure to wash your hands after you pee because you're not a goddamn animal, but also wash your face with the piss hands to get plenty of DNA on them. That way, the cops can return it to you in case you lose it. You're gonna want to test out if that sword of ultimate power works before you use it, so make sure to stab the first guy you see as soon as you get out the door. After that, getting absolutely demolished by an oncoming bus is integral, shows you're not afraid to take your licks. You can try to walk it off, but you're gonna look like a newborn deer while you walk, so better check into a hospital. The best way I found to do that is to get murdered by the police. They're gonna confiscate your sword of ultimate power as evidence, but don't worry, it's evidence to show how cool you are. Take out your impotent rage on some guy and run into a guy while he's driving for an insurance claim. Claim his car with the insurance that you won't kill him. Now at this point, you're gonna want to smash into cars who are disobeying the law by driving on the side of the road. I don't personally agree with. The police are gonna try to give you an award for being such a good citizen, but you don't want to look like a teacher's pet, so make sure to try to kill them before fleeing to a cemetery. That way, they won't know which dead bodies are supposed to be there. Use your street smarts to scavenge a gun off this police officer and get to blasting. You're gonna want to fight for as long as you can, but eventually get gunned down like a dog because this whole thing was an anti-violence message. Street smarts. You know what it is? There are no stakes! I don't need to prove how smart I am, I need to do it for money! I want to be a genius like I want to be a millionaire, and I'm already a genius, so why am I not a millionaire? I'm playing the Dreamcast version, cause if I'm gonna be a millionaire, I'd like the Dreamcast to be there to see me succeed. He's been like a dead brother to me. Starting out our first game, and we have to enter a name. I picked Regis to try to trick the game into giving me easier questions.
Okie dokie. Right, you need instructions as to how to play.
Main menu.
Thanks.
Damn it! Okay, so the first question's a ball buster. Gotta pick a different strategy. If I wasn't a genius, you know who I'd want to be? Timon! I just want to eat bugs.
Each question will appear with 4 possible answers. Highlight the answer you want using the directional buttons and press the appropriate button to confirm.
What's the inappropriate button? So, I finally made it to the hot seat, ready to prove myself to all you doubting Thomases. What naturally adorns the head of reindeer? Call the cops.
Well, I think Rudolph might look quite cute with tusks, but the answer, as you damn well ought to know, is antlers, mate. All right, see you later.
Okay, Rob, that's great. Thanks for your help. Bye, mate. Well, it's up to you. You can go with Rob's choice D, or you can make your own mind up.
Well, I've never met Rob before, so he might be a compulsive liar. Now, that was the correct answer, but now I can't stop thinking about what Rudolph would look like with tusks.
It's the easiest question of the lot, and you've got it wrong. It's D.
How could Rob tell the truth like that? Alright, I think that's enough crazy glue to keep them from throwing me off this thing. Is getting rid of me really worth getting a new chair? Game 2 time, and I'm on a roll. Put what before the horse? Marriage. Bird associated with wisdom? Big Bird, that guy taught me everything I know. What field was Enrico Caruso famous in? None, you just made him up.
I'd love to say you've just won £8,000, but I'm afraid you haven't. I'm so sorry. It's the wrong answer. The answer is A.
Oh, like you met him! Okay, I just heard backstage they found some goo gone. I don't have much time left. Third round, come on! Which animal goes bah? Alex, I'd like to poll the crowd. Guys, it's Stingray, right? Well, they seem pretty set on B, but when I have a problem, the top name in the phone book usually has a good answer. You know what? I don't even know what I would do with $1 million. I'm just gonna walk away. Actually, I never really specified what I got my degree in, did I? It's mainly Lion King. Ah, see, I told you I was born to be Timon!
What is this a picture of?
Meredith Vieira! She fed me that one.
What is a pride?
Meredith, I know this one. A sin!
Which characters compete in the snail slurping contest?
Meredith, that is a beautiful question. All right, let's move on to our next category. Meredith, for $500, will you just tell everybody I won?
What is this a picture of? Lava Landing, Base Camp, Pride Rock, or Bell's Castle?
I was looking away during that part of the movie.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. But you can always try again.
Really? Well, then next time whisper the right one to me before I say final answer.
I don't have $1 million, I don't have 1,000,000 grubs, and my feelings are hurt. No more pussyfooting! We're gonna get the word straight from the gift horse's mouth, but we aren't gonna look in it, because I'm getting an IQ test. This one I found here is incredibly worried about if you can tell how many shapes are in an image. Honestly, it's a great question. If you don't know how many triangles there are, do you even deserve to live? I was expecting an IQ test to have more questions on it, but this is more like kindergarten level what comes next in the sequence games. If I can't do this, I'm done for. Wait. Okay, I get I've been having a bit of an off day, but I'm not so desperate I have to pay for it. Alright, a free IQ test is like free fish. They wouldn't make it free if they didn't believe in it. Mary is 16 years old, and 4 times older than her brother. How old will Mary be when she's twice as old as her brother? When she's 2, her brother will be 0. Final answer! Ralph likes 25, but not 24. 400, but not 300. And 144, but not 145. What does Ralph like? Nothing cool! If you rearrange the letters Lingedna, you have the name of... Oh, Lindegna, Mississippi! Alright, let's hope they value speed and see what I got. IQ scores are like golf, right? Lower score wins? Let's just forget all that and get down to brass tacks, the real questions. What's my zodiac sign? Oh, I'm gonna ace this test. I asked the newspaper this morning and they said Virgos are guaranteed to win.
You can get to be a cool guy, a huge nerd, a racist, or this asshole named Hufflepuff.
Ah yes, something nourishing. Like a charcuterie board. What would really hit the spot right now is room temperature grapes that have been sitting on meat. Well, it's been a long, rough road, but I'm looking forward to finally getting one right. Let's see Virgo. What I meant was, which SpongeBob character am I? Really looking forward to getting into SpongeBob. Never seen an episode before. There's like 200 of them. I wouldn't even know where to start. Now, I've known since I was born that if I couldn't grow up to be Timon, I'd want to grow up to be Squidward. So if I can't get this right, I'm giving up on brains. Oh, thank God they finally made a fun song. The rest have been garbage. Finally, are you ready? God, no. All right, BuzzFeed's tallying up whether I'm worthless or worthwhile. Oh my God, I did it! I actually did it! I finally got one right! I told you all! I'm Squidward! I'm Squidward! I'm retroactively expelled? You're taking my diploma back. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.